Hey guys. So in this second video, we're going to go over our suggested method on how to set up our delivery fees. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be in a location uh, because what we want to do is we want to set up our global settings first, and then if we need to trickle down into one specific restaurant, we can go down to that specific restaurant and modify whatever we need to do. So the easiest way to do this, obviously the tiered zones are going to be under easy zoning, and all we have to do is load a template first. So let's just load a driver average $11 per hour template, and you can see that all of these fields get filled out for us. So what do all of these mean? So we have over, meaning over how many miles are we going to use tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we will leave all of these tiers as they are because the way we're going to control the mileage is actually under max distance. So as you can see right now, we have the max distance as 35, meaning that after 30 miles, up until 35 miles, we're going to have this tier 10 structure. Now, if we want to say start small with our location, we can just limit this and say 14, for example. So what this is going to do, it's going to go up to tier 7 and it's going to cut it off at 14. And we can leave these fields open and filled out, because if we later down the road want to change that, or we see that we can cover more ground, all we have to do is change this number and maybe put it to 19. And now it's only going to go up to tier 8. So once we do that, that's going to be the mileage that we cover in our areas. Now we have the pickup fee. This will be basically how much are you charging per tier to just pick up the order, right? So the mileage and all of the additional fees can go from that. As you can see, plus per mile fee is going to determine what the delivery fee is going to be with the pickup fee. So if it's 5 miles, for example, right, that's going to be $3.99 pickup fee plus $0.50 per mile to deliver it, right? And this is the distance from the restaurant to the customer, okay? Now we have the minimum order. This is going to basically tell us what does the minimum dollar amount of the subtotal, so all the food items, right, before all the fees that we put on, needs to be in order for the customer to be able to order, right? So as you can see here in tier 2, we have a minimum of $5. Tier 3, we have $10, and you can change this however you want. Now, under delivery time, this is our average. So whatever you think the average is, and this is what the system's going to take and quote the customer for. Plus, if you're using our auto dispatch service, is going to calculate also how far the driver is from the restaurant, so the pickup time and then the drop-off time, and it's going to combine all that to give the customer the final estimate for their delivery time. But we're going to put some basic numbers in here. So if it's 0 miles, it's 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45, and same as all the other fields, you can change this to whatever you want. And then the driver commission, you actually have this field in each individual driver's profile. Driver profile, and you can change this and you can override it. But if you want to change this right now and say, so up until, let's say, tier 5, you have to make a certain amount of money through the delivery commission. So let's say you set up this to like 75, and then anything after 9 miles you're making enough money because the order is big enough, then you can say that the driver maybe gets 100% of those fees. So once we have that done, we can do two things, right? So you can either update all the existing restaurants with this formula, or you can set this as a default for all of your restaurants. So if we do that, if we click set as default for restaurants, it's not going to touch any of the existing restaurants, but it's going to update any new restaurant profile that you create under the restaurants section. So right now what we want to do is, let's say we have this we crunch the numbers, it makes sense for our business. We're going to click set as default for restaurants, and every time we make a new restaurant profile, this is going to be set. You don't have to do it over and over again. Now, if you click, as I said, update all restaurants, it's going to update all the existing restaurants, but that doesn't mean that it's going to set a default for any of the new ones that you create. So we highly suggest you use this method, then set it as default, and anytime you add a new partner to your selection, to your website, this is going to be all set up for you. So now, once we have this in place, all we have to do is switch over to the restaurant, and now, as you can see, the structure is set as tiered, and we can change any of the values we want. And then what it does, it overrides anything that's under the locational level. So if we want to change these numbers and say, okay, so for tier 3, I want to go 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 17, what is it, 21, 25, like random numbers, and we fill all of these fields out, that is actually going to override whatever is on the location, and in the same way, the max distance is going to determine up until which tier our formula goes. Okay, so we highly suggest you use this method because you can really customize it to your business. And then what happens, what we did in the first video when we set up our zoning, this helps because if from this tier, right, a customer doesn't get a the maps don't recognize that customer's address, but it's in a zip code that you deliver to, the system is automatically going to default back onto this one right here, which is the zone-based fees. All right. Now, if you don't want to use the suggested method, we're going to do another 2 or 3 videos on other options that you have. So if you're interested in that, please click the next video in the playlist. Have a great day. Bye.